feeling drained? Do you feel trapped by indecision? Perhaps you're frustrated because you have no idea what your next steps are. Are you ready to gain confidence that empowers you to passionately pursue your dreams once again? If this sounds like you, you're going to want to tune into today's episode of Coffee and Confidence, where I'm so excited to interview a friend of mine, where we're going to be talking about how clarity gives you confidence. I'm so excited for this. So grab your pen, your paper, your coffee, your hot beverage, your tea, your water, whatever it is, and tune in and listen up because we have some great tips for you today. So thank you for tuning in. My name is Kelly Carrigan. I'm your host today. I'm an assertiveness coach, and my business is EmpowerMe Coaching. I'm empowering people pleasers worldwide to calm the chaos, to live life on their terms, to create better relationships, to find balance, and to grow in confidence. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited to introduce today's guest, and without further ado, here is Hayley Bohan, and Hayley Bohan is marketing specialist, and her company is Marketing on Purpose. I love that title. So thank you so much for being here, Hayley. Please share a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. So, Kelly, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Always love to have coffee with you. I'd love to have it in person too. I'm Hayley Bohan, and I started my company Marketing on Purpose in November last year. So I'm not even a year old, but it has been a dream of mine for over a decade to be an entrepreneur. And I finally found the confidence to do it. And the reason why I wanted to do it was strong enough to propel me forward. So I love this topic. And my company, Marketing on Purpose, helps startups, small businesses, and entrepreneurs to find clarity about their customers, their purpose, and really understand what kind of messaging is going to work for them to attract the ideal customer and to start building the kind of business that they want to build.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. That's very, very valuable. I mean, I know myself as, a business, a startup, and because I've been doing this since 2014, and it's really only in the last year that I've really got some momentum, because I too, like many other entrepreneurs, was lacking that clarity, is lacking that why. And anyways, I don't want to get into it right yet, but yeah, exactly. I'm really excited. All right. Well, thanks again. So it is the Coffee and Confidence show. Without further ado, we're going to do the quick what's in your Okay. All right, so I'll share first. What's in my cup this morning? I bet you can guess what's in my cup. Well, it's a Starbucks. Actually, maybe you can't guess.
Could be anything from Starbucks.
Exactly. I know. They've such a large menu. So this morning I am drinking an Americano with cream and not stevia. Yeah, stevia. Yeah, cream and stevia. I forgot what I ordered.
Awesome.
Because this house is clean out of coffee, so I had to go get one this morning. So Hayley, what's in your cup this morning?
I think we're two of a kind here, because my house is also clean out of coffee. So this morning I got up bright and early and went to my favorite Timmy's and got a large, but it's all gone. So then for the show, I have a coffee mug full of water. And I would love to have another coffee, but I don't have any here. So I'm going to have to take another Tim's run after the show.
Yeah. So
two milk.
2 milk, no sugar, no sweetener?
No.
You're sweet enough?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I want to invite everybody who's tuning in live, share what's in your cup. And you know what, would you prefer Starbucks or Tim Hortons? I mean, we've got like two arriving companies right here this morning too. Yeah, so let us know you're here. I want to welcome you to share your comments, to ask your questions as we go along. I will acknowledge all comments and questions as we go. So yeah, feel free. We'd love to hear from you. So this topic, the power of clarity, how clarity can, give you confidence. I just want to ask, what are some of the problems? What are some of the issues that what are some of the challenges that come up when people have a lack of clarity?
It's a ton of things, because like, especially in my business, I find that, the customers that come to me, the clients that come to me, that's why they come. They don't know what to do next. So they're lacking that clarity. They're lacking that understanding in either their market, their customer, even, how to talk to people, what channels to talk to people. So it's all coming from this lack of understanding, lack of clarity. And as I start to work with my clients, I started to realize that, this lack of clarity, once it starts to open up, once you start to see more clearly, it changes them. So they come in worried and scared, and then we figure out, the stuff that they need to know to move their business forward. And then the confidence just skyrockets. So, and it changes things, and it changes how you talk to people, and it changes, how you see yourself and how your business evolves, because you gain this greater confidence. And I think, as you know, Kelly, because your business is all about that, getting confidence, that's what clarity does. Clarity and understanding allows you to confidently move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I hear a lot, and I've been there in the past too, right? Like I've felt, stuck, right? That word, stuck, lost. And not only in business, people have that feeling in life in general, right? That like indecision, like, oh my gosh, I can't even make a decision. Like, I don't even know which is the right decision. Like, how do I know which decision is right for me? So people tend to get stuck, like the deer in the headlights sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. And go ahead.
I was going to say, and I find that once you get clear on one thing, whether it's in life, in business, doesn't matter. Once you get one piece of that puzzle, the other ones kind of start to unfog as well, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the domino effect. So get really clear on one thing, like maybe it's your why, maybe it's your purpose. Get really clear, and then all of a sudden, the light turns on in other areas of your life too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. I know I want to share a quote that really resonated with me a few years ago when I was, like, I don't know if I should say, but anyways, I was doing some fitness coaching. I was working for someone else. And I read this quote that just stuck with me. And then once I read this quote, I'm like, I could not get it out of my head. And the quote was, when you are not living your dream, someone else will hire you to make their dream come true. And I was like, OMG, this is so me. Like, I am making somebody else's dream come true. And I had no idea at that point in my life what direction I wanted my life to go. And I was just, on autopilot. I was just floating along, right? I wonder if there's, is there anybody watching that can relate to that? Like just, you're just floating along, you're on autopilot and, right?
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that, Kelly, because as you know, I'm a bit of an overachiever. And no matter who I worked for, I was always putting in like really long hours, always going above and beyond, excelling, because that's what I do. I just want to, rise above, I guess. So I was putting in like 12 to 16-hour days most of my career, even after I had kids. So I would come home and do the kid thing and spend as much time as I could with them. And then as soon as they went to bed, I would start working again. And it was the same as you. Like one day I realized, why am I doing this? Like, what if I did this for myself? What could I become? What could I accomplish? And how could I help people in the way I want to help people versus the way somebody else did? So that quote really resonates with me too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. It's just one of those that just stuck in my head. And I was like, okay, I've got to change something. And, that was 4.5 years ago now. Yeah, so that's amazing. So before we keep going, there's a couple of people who have, said hello to us this morning. So I want to acknowledge them. So this morning we have Sharon Pin, and she says, good morning, ladies. Good morning, Sharon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Laura McPhee says, hey, ladies. Hey, Laura. Thank you. Hey. Dindy Lee, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. She says, hello there.
That's a beautiful name, Dindy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I like that too. And Laura says, can totally relate. I was on autopilot in the corporate world. I wonder how many people in the corporate world feel they are on autopilot. I'm sure there is a good percentage. Yeah. All right. So, like, I know with the people that I help, like the people pleasers, definitely can relate to, being an overachiever and wanting to be successful, right? And that it's that need to please others. So gaining clarity is going to be so beneficial. It's amazing. So, one thing that I wrote down, I'm just like looking at my notes here, is that, the people that we hang out with. Do you want to add to that? Like the people that we hang out with, can they, help us to propel forward?
I think so, but I think it comes from you, right? Like I feel like, at least for my clients, for myself, and I think even for you, Kelly, like it's an internal thing. You have to seek clarity within yourself first, and really try to figure out what you're all about, what you want, what's going to make you happy, what's going to help you to live the life that you want to live, and why it's so important to you. And I feel like it starts there. And yes, you can surround yourself with supportive people, but it starts with you. It started with me. It started with me.
Yeah, that is a great reminder because, yes, you can surround yourself with all the right people, the people who are confident and inspiring and, who are going out and doing amazing things. However, if you feel that lack of confidence inside, it's not guaranteed that you're going to have the same results as everybody else that you're surrounding yourself with. So you're right. I love that reminder that you're right. It does start within. So for the people out there that are tuning in today, what are some tips, or what is the tip or any tip that you have for people to find clarity when they're confused about what the next steps are?
Like I said, you have to start within. And for those who have worked with me or who follow me on social media, I'm all about asking why. I'm like a 3-year-old child. It's like, why? so I think that that 3-letter word can change everything for you. And whether it's a big life question, like, why am I here? What is the purpose of me? Or whether it's a small situational thing and understanding why something is the way it is and getting to the root of it, it doesn't matter. It's all about digging and understanding. And I really think, like, if you think about confidence and just go back to even your childhood, and you went into, say you were going to grade school and you went in to write a test and you didn't study or you didn't understand the concepts, you're not going to be confident taking that test. It's just impossible. If you don't know, if you don't have clarity on the subject matter, you don't understand it, how can you go in confident? And it's the same with everything in life. If you don't understand, like, I really think, seek to understand first, and then the confidence will come. And like, I would say, even if it's a small thing, right? Even if it's, I'm unhappy in, a relationship that I have. Understanding what's causing that unhappiness within you is going to help you, and like peeling back like those layers of the onion is going to help you gain confidence to take one step in the right direction. And it just takes one step. And, I really believe that you don't have to go out and change the world. You don't have to like put that on yourself. But you have to take one step, and to confidently take that step, you have to have clarity as to why you want to take it. So the tip is, ask why. Ask, why do you exist? Like, depending on what, like if you're looking to change careers or something, like what is the good that you want to do in this world? And then why is that important? And why, and why, and why, and why? And just keep asking why until you can't answer it anymore. And usually when I do this with my clients, we end up both crying because it gets down to such an emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it gets meaningful. But once you get it, then you can confidently move forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. And as I'm listening to you speak, I'm reminded of, even working with my clients, right? Like even in dealing with conflict, right? For instance, like someone said something that just gives you an emotional charge, like it doesn't sit well with you. And, instead of being, reactive, you want to respond. So before you can respond, you have to know why that upsets you, why that has crossed your boundaries. You have to really get to know yourself. And then once you know why, and right, it's easier to express and respond as opposed to react and get upset. So it's really, like you said, why is a great question. Like you said, the 3-year-old group, they're always asking, well, why? Well, why? Well, why? But it is
Get into
great.
your inner 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Embrace your inner 3-year-old.
Yeah.
And you will move more confidently through this world, I think.
Uh-huh. And even knowing why. So for instance, even if it's like going to the gym and starting a new program, right? Changing the way you're eating. Like I had a conversation like with an old friend, and she recently turned to like a plant-based diet. And it's just, I'm always curious. I always ask, like, why? That's interesting. Why the shift? She said, well, honestly, I got a health scare, and, diabetes is prominent in my family, and I'm doing it for health reasons because I'm valuable and I'm important. So the next time that she's at like a gathering with other people who might try to influence her to like eat bacon and cheese and whatever, she's very strong in her why. So that gives her confidence. And when you have confidence and know your why, you're inspiring others, because that's amazing, right? Because when you emotionally connect with your why, nobody else can change your mind, and it's so much easier to stay the course and to share your passion.
Yeah. And your why can always have something to do with other people. Like my why as to why I started on the entrepreneurial journey was about my kids, right? So I wasn't able to be there with them when I wanted to. I traveled a lot. I worked for a big brand, and we did commercial shoots and stuff in, different parts of North America. And I was away from them too much. So my why became about them. But then as I created the business that I wanted to create, it even became more about them, because I remember when I was younger, my mom wanted me to play it safe. And, a lot of people's moms, well-intentioned, and dads want their kids to, have a solid career, go to university, take something that can move them into making money. So I did that. But it wasn't where my passion was. And I just wanted my kids to know that they can live whatever dream they want to live. They just have to choose it and work hard. So I wanted to prove to them over and over that people's dreams come true. So my why as to why I started the specific business that I started was all about, I want my kids to see over and over and over through me, through my clients, people pursuing a dream and succeeding. So my whole job is about helping people to succeed in pursuing their dreams.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to stop you right there for a minute, because I have some other comments coming in that I want to acknowledge. Penny Lynn says, good morning. Good morning, Penny. Thank you so much for being here. Sharon says, your own why is so important to building confidence. Yes, it is. Laura McPhee says, yes, go inward. Smiley face. We can find so many answers inside.
We're
Yes.
smarter than we think. I think like some people are always looking for answers outside, but we are so much smarter than we give ourselves credit for. We have the answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and listening to your intuition is a fine art. And trusting yourself, right? Definitely. We definitely have our answers in us. And I love that, right? Why? Right? So, everybody at home, grab a pen and paper and start to reflect on your why. If you're wanting to move forward to do something, journal about why and really get to that emotional level. And then you'll gain some clarity. And before you know it, like Hayley, you said earlier, like that fog starts to lift. If you're feeling like you're stuck in the fog right now, is that, gain that little bit of clarity. And as you start to move forward, things are going to align for you and they're going to come in front of your path. And you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. Right? Yeah, because when you have clarity, things just show up in ways that you would never imagine.
Yeah. If you don't know what you want, how are you ever going to get there, right?
Yeah.
How do you know what step to take?
Yeah. I feel compelled to share this. So it's like a T graph. It's a simple T graph, right? So many people get stuck with what they don't want, right? So if you can figure out what you don't want on the one side, right? I mean, it is valuable to figure out what you don't want, but then on the other side, instead of don't, what do you want, right? I don't want to be stuck at a desk job for, 40 hours a week. I don't want whatever, right? So what's the opposite of that? And that will help gain some clarity as well. And then start developing your why. I love it.
Yeah. And take your piece of paper and write why, all the way down like 5 times. And just keep answering because it usually is, it's deeper than most of us think, the reasons why. And, working with clients and understanding their whys, like I'm always just so fascinated. Everybody's so different. And the reason that they do things are so different. It's really it's amazing to see. So I'm kind of reflecting now on, some of the client conversations that I had, and it's pretty amazing. It's powerful stuff. Let's just say.
It really is. And I know when you and I had a discussion, my whole why is I want to make people feel like they matter, because for many years of my life, I felt like my voice didn't matter. What I had to say didn't matter. My opinion didn't matter. And I felt so silenced that I want to empower people, to build confidence, to find their voice so that they realize that, you know what, I do matter. So.
Yeah. And you do. And Kelly went through one of my boot camps. She was one of my first groups of people who went through that. So we spent a lot of time talking about her why. And yeah, it is good to know that, because then it just makes everything else, it just connects everything. It gives it greater understanding. And once you have that, you really do have more confidence, I think, to push forward and to do different things that are kind of outside your comfort zone, because you've got this strong reason for being to back it up, right? It's more than about just you once you understand your why. It's never just about you.
Right.
Yeah.
It never is when you really get down to it.
No, never.
So thank you so much for sharing, that insight, because that question of why is so very important. So I want to invite you and for you to share with people who are watching and people who are catching the replay, how can they connect with you? Or do you have some things going on right now that you'd like to highlight?
Sure. I always have lots going on. I'm very active on Facebook. And so if you want to follow me, we're doing 12 days of inspiration right now on my Facebook page. So that's Marketing on Purpose is my Facebook page. But I have a group that I think that some of your viewers might be interested in. And that's the Entrepreneurs Audio Book Club. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, I feel like you might like this, because the whole thing for me was, I want to continually get better. I want to continually learn, as you know, I think most people do. But I was having a really hard time finding time for that. And I discovered these audiobooks. And so each month, we are going to look at 2 audiobooks, self-improvement kind of thing. And then at the end of the month, we're going to share what we learned from those books. So it kind of keeps you accountable for continual learning. And they are about self-improvement. The last 3 books that we read in July are all about courage, or had an element of courage in them, and talked about that in different ways, and connecting to your authentic self, and all of that kind of good stuff that entrepreneurs need, but so do everybody else. So I feel like that of my offerings is the most universal, would have the biggest appeal.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. And I welcome you to leave the links for those groups in the comments once we're done our show today. And I invite everybody online to, send Hayley a friend request, because she's a good person to know. She's very resourceful, insightful, inspirational, and genuine. That's why I love her. Yeah, please reach out and and get connected. And so hopefully that you'll be inspired after today's show to really connect with your why. And if you've enjoyed today's show, Coffee and Confidence, I welcome you to join my group. I have a private Facebook group called the Coffee and Confidence Group, where we are growing in members, and the whole mission of the group is to grow in confidence and to have a little fun. I have some coffee-inspired days, and I'm relating coffee to inspirational, which is really fun. So we've got a great group there and a great community. So I invite you to join, and I will leave the link in the comments below once we are done, if you're interested to join. This is a weekly show. However, I do want to say I'm going to take a break next week. So episode 10 will be the following week. I'm on vacation next week. I'm looking forward to it. And we are going to, catch up again in 2 weeks' time, Thursday morning, right here on the Coffee and Confidence Show. So I want to thank you so much, Hayley, for being here. Love your smile, love your presence, love your energy. And I know that you brought value to all of our viewers today. So thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you on episode 10 of Coffee and Confidence.